Tuesday. What's Tin-Yetti cooking today? Hello and welcome back to another Chew on That Tuesday. You're getting a bit of a double episode today because I'm busy in the kitchen making some potato, leek and cauliflower soup. But what you're really here for is snapper yellow curry. But what's going on here is this is the last time you will see this dodgy old stove that I've got here. Because tomorrow the weather looks good and I'm going fishing. Thursday, I've got gasketers coming to pull it out. And I've got a new stove ordered. Big 900mm oven and stove. So yes, in future you'll get to see me working with that. Hopefully I'll be able to do some whole fish cooks in the oven and exciting things. Exciting times to come. Alright, yellow curry. So, first place to start for yellow curry, for any curry really, is paste. Plenty of good shop bought options, but I'm going to make mine from scratch for you today. So onions, you can use shallots. Shallots are a bit sweeter, probably nicer, but I knew I had lots of these, just onions in my cupboard. So I've got one brown and one little red. Straight in the blender. Lemongrass. Just take that hardest of hard bits of the stalk off the bottom. Obviously I've cleaned up, taken away the very top leaves and the really fibrous outer leaves. But the rest of that, once you put it through the blender, it's all good. Just chop it down a bit, it helps your blender out. If you want to go mortar and pestle, you can do that. You can actually just smash it, chop it, and put it in whole, and then strain your stock later, if you want to do that. Ginger, I'm not even going to bother to peel it, because I'm going to blend it. So the whole lot. Got a bit of kick for the eyes. And garlic. This is fresh garlic. I just get a lot and then blend it all up. Makes it easier. I'm looking at how much ginger I've got. Probably going to want a couple of good spoonfuls of that. Maybe that much. We're making a lot of paste here. Couple of kaffir lime leaves. These have been kicking around in my freezer for a while. Might just put two and a bit in there, and then we'll probably put a couple of other ones in when we're simmering it as well. And one red chilli. I don't want to make it too hot, so just one chilli, and I'm going to take the seeds out. Obviously, depending on who you are, what you like, leave the seeds in, take them out, it's up to you. I prefer to take them out. All just roughly chopped. And then we need some oil. Alright, so this is just veggie oil. We're going to need a decent amount of it because we're making a lot of paste here. Slap that on in there. Slap the lid on and give it a blitz. Takes a while to start catching. Take it off. Make a mess. Not going to play the game for me, I'm going to have to put some water in there. Alright, she's nice and smooth. Yummy. You'll get it into a pot. So we'll put that in there. Now maybe you're looking at that thinking, Joel, you said you're making yellow curry. That's not yellow. Well, duh. Thanks for your feedback. If you wanted to, you could use fresh turmeric. Put that in at this stage or into the blending stage, so that blends in there. Gets you a nice yellow colour. I didn't get any fresh turmeric, so we're going to have to use powdered, which I don't really like putting blended spices in at this stage because this is going to cook out for a while, and if you do, you sort of lose the flavour of it. So we're going to cook it out first, and then I'm going to add the yellow curry later. I mean the turmeric later, which you will see. So scrape that in there. It's kind of good that I've got my big pots in use for the potato and leek soup, as you can see, because I kind of like it when you got a bit of depth to that curry. It gives you a bit more freedom to cook it out. So I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to put it on high to start with until it comes up to temp, and then fairly quickly, once it's at temperature, if you're not careful, it'll start to burn. So basically, as soon as it sort of comes to the boil, I'm going to turn it right down to low, and we're going to cook it out for, I don't know, it might be an hour. We'll see how it goes, and we'll keep going with the next step. Worst part about working at home is I've only got at least one pot. Well, I've got one giant one, but it's too big. So I have to finish this soup before I can finish the yellow curry. So anyway, stick blender. Oh, and I have to wash my own dishes. That's a bit sad too. This is why I don't like putting water in the paste. It works best if you use just oil, because now I've got to boil all that water off before my paste actually starts cooking. So I'll leave it on high for a little bit longer. You can kind of tell, you'll feel it on the bottom with your spatula, and it will start to stick suddenly, and you know that all the water's gone, and then you turn it down. Oh, it also starts spitting everywhere. So let's turn that down, and hopefully not make so much mess. So this is something I've not tried before. I figured I could just make a normal fish stock, stick my bones in the water, boil it away, make stock. Today I'm going to try, I've got just the backbone and the rib cage from my snapper. We're going to barbecue it off a bit, put some colour on it. Hopefully we'll get some of that smoky deliciousness. So yeah, the little Yeti and I ate the whole head, picked all the meat off. There's some footage, I'll roll that for you now. After we ate that, that was way too much meat. There was the wings as well, way too much meat for two of us for lunch. So I went through and picked all of the meat, as much meat as I possibly could off the head. I've got a little container of that, it's in the freezer. That's going to go in my curry as well. For now, we'll barbecue this off, and then we'll chuck it into our soup. Curry. We'll chuck it into our curry. I'll shut the lid to give it a bit of extra heat. And there we go. She's ready. Now, can I pick this up one-handed without it falling apart? Yes, I can. Now I've got to wash the pot so I can get the yellow curry in it. Soup for days. Where's a kitchen hand when you need one? Alright, so it's getting closer now. Ow. And now that the soup is done, we will transfer this over to the bigger pot. All you saw was the bottom of the pot then, but anyway. I am going to leave it on a small burner though, but I'm going to turn that burner up now because I can monitor it a bit closer. The next thing in is going to be some palm sugar. If you can avoid it, don't get the stupid genies, the little rectangle blocks. They're rubbish. Try and get these discs. They're much nicer. I like to chop it up a bit and then I'm going to put it in that paste and let it melt out in the paste. The paste's not ready yet. We'll get this ready early. For how much I'm making, I'm thinking we'll give it a go with 2 blocks, which should be about 100 grams, I think. Yeah, there's 8 blocks in a 1 pound thing, so it should be about 100 grams. If you can't get palm sugar, you can use brown sugar, but it's not the same. So yeah, go for palm sugar. Okay, so I don't know how well you see it on the GoPro, but you're starting to get the oils coming out. It's gone down to pasty. There's a little bit sticking on the bottom there. So it's time to move on. Ordinarily this is when I'd put the turmeric in there, but obviously I forgot to buy any more, and I just went looking for it in my cupboard and I don't have any. But as you can see, the natural caramelizing does give it a bit of that yellow colour. So at this point it's just going to be pale, but we'll see how we go. I might go and buy some and I can add some later, mainly for the colour. Anyway, so I'm going to chuck my sugar in there now and let that melt through. No, I reckon we're going to need more than that. Maybe I will put that other block in there. Is I'm going to add a couple of 100 mils of water, which, yes, that's kind of ironic because I just spent an hour boiling all the water out and now I'm going to add water back in. But the point was to get it to this stage where you've actually caramelized those ingredients. Yeah, and it loses that bitterness. And you just left with that lovely flavour. It doesn't have the raw onion bitterness anymore. So chuck some water in, which then allows me to loosen it all off the bottom. If you haven't noticed, I prefer using a spatula, high temperature spatula. They work better than wooden spoons because they're a bit smoother, slide nicely on the bottom of your pan, clean everything off. Silicone. Silicone's the word I was looking for. And then I'm going to put that fish frame in. I think we're going to have to break it in half to fit. You can go straight in there. The works. So I always put just about everything I get out of a can. The can full goes in, and then I put like half a can of water in there and rinse it out, so you make sure you get it all. You can always boil the water off and get all your flavour. 2 cans, and it'll end up being basically 2 cans of water once you combine all of that together. Coconuts are one of the only 2 I can think of. Coconuts and avocado, non-animal sources of saturated fat. So, depends what you think of saturated fat. At the end of the day, it is essential nutrition. You don't want too much of it, but it is. There's nothing wrong with it. So there you go. Saturated fat in coconut, hence why your coconut cream will set at room temperature. And we will leave that and let that simmer away for, I don't know, a while, maybe an hour. Probably not for fish bones really. I'll turn it right down. That's the other thing with fish. When you're making fish stock, it's when you get it too hot that you change those proteins and you make that bad, fishy, stinky smell. So if you, just gently on simmering fish stocks. I'm actually making this sauce 2 days early. The guys at my church have a curry night, so I'm making up some, obviously the fish yellow curry for them for curry night. I've got just pulled out all my nicely vac packed bits of snapper, plus I got that takeaway container I told you about before in the fridge of all the head meat. Make the sauce, stick it in a slow cooker, and then I can put the slow cooker base in the fridge, and on Thursday I'll pull it out and heat it up, put the fish in, finish it off. I've got some veggies that I'll finish off and put in there as well. So inconvenient that the day that my stove is disappearing is the day that curry night is, but easy enough to manage with a little bit of forethought, and slow cookers work fine for the job. So I will see you again in 2 days' time when we finish it off. All right, see you later. My prep ready to go. I've already got the sauce in the slow cooker, coriander on the side, some people don't like it. Sweet potatoes just plain roasted with a bit of oil and banged it through the oven. So nice diced fish straight in to the hot sauce. Greens, you could chuck them in a pan to put a bit of colour on them because they're just going, I left them as they are. Sweet potato gives a nice contrast in colour. Chuck it all in there and then give it a stir through. And then you're also, right at the last second, want to add some lime. Don't do it too early, because if you put it in early, the acidity discolours all your greens and they go that horrible brown colour. See you next Tuesday, or on the water.